Welcome to Brain Secrets in the Age of the Brain with more informational bits about the human brain. I love to call them brain secrets. The brain creates habits because it requires less energy to use them. When you optimistically create a half a dozen New Year's resolutions, it is a brain function disaster and typically does not work. Therefore, people often throw up their hands and throw out any such attempts. The problem is resolutions, plural. Studies have shown that it takes about 12 weeks, an average of 66 days to be precise, to embrace one new behavior and turn it into a habit. A new behavior you have never done before, or a new replacement behavior for an old, unhealthy one. One new behavior at a time, slow, steady, and consistently, means that you can likely turn it into a new habit in about 3 months. That's 4 new behaviors turned into new habits each year. That is doable for the brain, and you are much more likely to be successful. Gradually, your lifestyle choices can become healthier and healthier. Now, let's see what questions Asia Hudson, assistant producer of Brain Secrets, and videographer Grant Gilmore have for this last holiday episode. Once again, Asia, welcome to this side of the cameras.
Thank you.
And it's kind of a bittersweet episode for me because it's number 3 in the trilogy that we're doing for the holiday season this year for Brain Secrets, Ask Dr. Taylor. So as we think about doing this and you think back of having planned it and then actually asked the questions and so on, are you pleased with what's happened?
Absolutely. Yeah, this was it was so fun, and it turned out so much better than I expected, and everyone was so engaged, and everyone was excited to ask a question, and we have like such a family environment here that it was so nice to feel like this level of comfort to where I didn't have anxiety going and asking everybody a question. It was just kind of like, hey, you want to ask a question? And then they would, and it just made me feel so happy.
Well, happy is part of doing what you love.
That's true.
And you do what you love very well.
Thank you.
So I'm thinking already ahead of next year and have no ideas yet. But I'm thinking, how can you top this?
I got to figure it out because pressure is on. I was thinking that too. I was like, maybe I did this too soon. Because now I'm trying to think, how can I keep everything else interesting ongoing? But we'll see.
Well, everything you do is interesting to me because it challenges my brain. You know, when people ask the questions and you bring them back, some of them I've never thought of before.
Right.
Ever. And it really makes me think about what have I learned about the brain? You know, how can I apply it to this so that it makes sense? And so it's very good for my brain. And I'm just really pleased that the viewers are enjoying it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They love it.
So is there anything you want to say before we ask Grant if he's ready?
Can I ask Grant if he's ready?
You ask him. He's always ready when I ask him.
Hi, Grant. Are you ready?
Actually, not quite yet. I'm pulling it up right now. Just 2 minutes, 2 minutes.
You see, I knew that this would happen, just like it did when we did this before, because you put into his mind, not ready. And that's such a perfect example.
I think he just does that to mess with me. It feels personal.
Well, you know what? High EQ says you never take anything personally.
I got low EQ, Arlene.
Well, we're going to work on raising it.
Okay.
All right, Grant, we're just going to sit here until you're ready. Give us the word.
Everything's all ready to go. Set up.
Thank you. Let's see those videos.
Okay, Grant, our cameraman, is going to ask a question. What is it?
So since we're at work today, my question is, what's the difference in brain activity from when you're at work working and when you're at home relaxing? What's the difference in your brain function there?
That's a really good question and an interesting one that I'm also going to bounce off of, Dr. Taylor. I'm going to give you my 2 cents. Yeah. So my question is, similar to Grant's, does having a job give you purpose? And how does it help brain activity? We'll hear about it when we see you in person, but not in the halls, actually at your desk, because I guarantee we will pass you in the halls. Candy to myself.
What's the difference in brain activity from when you're at work, working, and when you're at home, relaxing? What's the difference in your brain function there? Great question. The 2 cerebral hemispheres are composed of 4 quadrants. Most people are believed to have an energy advantage in one of the 4 quadrants over the other 3. Not that they can't use the other 3, but they have an advantage in one of them. It's known as your preference or bent. You use far less energy when doing tasks and activities that draw heavily on your bent. If you primarily use your bent at home, no wonder you feel relaxed. At work, if your tasks match your bent at least 51% of the time, you tend to enjoy what you do and feel energized at work. If, on the other hand, your work primarily uses a quadrant that does not represent your bent, it will require more energy to complete your tasks, and you may feel exhausted by the time you get to go home. Remember the old saying, do what you love, and you'll never work a day in your life. In that case, your energy levels may be somewhat similar at work and at home. Does having a job give you purpose? And how does that help brain function? Oprah Winfrey said, and I quote, "If you can get paid for doing what you love, every paycheck is a bonus. Give yourself the bonus of a lifetime. Pursue your passion." End quote. A job that is meaningful and that you enjoy increases your life satisfaction, and that is linked with longevity. Doing something challenging and stimulating increases brain activity. During the COVID-19 pandemic, when many lost their jobs, some figured out what they enjoyed doing and created a job out of it that contributed to both happiness and purpose. This differs for each person, however. Someone who stays at home and raises children to be emotionally intelligent adults may be as fulfilled as someone who runs a company that provides necessary commodities. A farmer who grows organic food may be deeply satisfied, realizing how beneficial that is for the Earth's population. Find a job that you love, then do it with purpose, happiness, and satisfaction.
All right, let's see who's in here. It's Miss Brandy. Hi. So we're doing a segment today for Ask Dr. Taylor, and we're asking everybody a question. And the question is, if you could ask a brain function specialist a question about brain function, what would you ask her?
Why is the male and female brain so different when it comes to ADHD?
Ooh, that's an amazing question. We'll see what she says to that. Would you like some candy?
Sure.
Oh, yay!
Christmas time.
Christmas time. I got a bunch of goodies, and I promise there's no coal. That's a good question, Dr. Taylor. I personally didn't know that male and female brains were different when it comes to ADHD, so I'm interested to see how you answer that one. All right.
First of all, the symptoms of ADHD in males and females are more alike than they are different. There are likely other reasons at play. According to the CDC, 3 times as many males are diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD. However, parents are more likely to take boys than girls for evaluation. There are some brain differences. Males are more likely to display externalized behaviors like outright hyperactivity, severe inattention, and disruptive behaviors. Females tend to exhibit internalizing behaviors, anxiety, depression, people-pleasing, low self-esteem, inattention, and a higher tendency to self-harm that may not be recognized as ADHD, and fluctuating estrogen levels that can impact the intensity and presentation of all ADHD symptoms. Females also are less likely to be diagnosed with ADHD even when their symptoms are the same as males. In addition, behavioral expectations based on gender identification or gender role may complement or complicate how symptoms are perceived and diagnosed.
If you could ask a brain function specialist a question about brain function, what would you ask her?
Why I can't answer when I'm put on the spot.
That's a good question. Why can't you come up with a question when she's put on the spot? And then,
why am I shy over cameras and videos and, you know.
Makes sense. Great questions. We'll see what she has to say when we send these back to Dr. Taylor. And then in the meantime, would you like some candy?
Oh, yes.
Amazing.
Silly question. Why am I shy in front of cameras? Being camera shy is quite common. It involves a sense of dis-ease when being photographed. Never mind being expected to speak during the process. Most people experience anxiety when around cameras. It may link with bad past experiences, or it may be a type of stage fright, wondering if you'll meet expectations. It may reflect an unpleasant feeling that you are the center of attention. It may also be a consequence of shyness itself, which is a personality trait, not a fault. People who exhibit shyness tend to be good listeners and good conversationalists in a small group, especially when they're interested in the topic. You can learn to be quite comfortable in front of cameras if you practice. Moreover, your brain will help you learn this skill if it believes that is what you want it to do. Use good self-talk. Say, Ryan, you are comfortable in front of cameras. Or, Arlene, you are comfortable in front of cameras. Then just keep practicing. Why can't I come up with a question when put on the spot? Research about the corpus callosum, the largest connecting bridge between the two cerebral hemispheres, showed multiple neuronal highways in the corpus callosum. Brains that respond instantly tend to prefer one set of highways, while brains that respond more slowly tend to prefer a different set of highways. Trying to think of a question when put on the spot may be a reflection of this type of brain physiology. Or they worry that their question may be viewed as dumb, or the stress leaves them inarticulate. My brain's opinion is that asking a question is the fastest way to learn, and there are no dumb questions. You can think fear and say, I can't do this, or think excitement and say, JP, you get to ask a question. As Ron W. Steer put it, quote, if you allow the voice of doubt or fear to enter your thoughts, you will lock out your confidence, end quote.
Okay, so hi, what's your name?
yeah.
My name's Cameron.
Nice to meet you, Cameron. I'm Asia. So we're doing a segment today for Dr. Taylor. It's called Ask Dr. Taylor, and we're asking our coworkers questions. So the question is, if you could ask a brain function specialist, Dr. Taylor, a question about brain function, what would you ask her?
Ooh, I guess I personally deal with brain fog a lot, and I don't know if that's from like me not sleeping well, or is that maybe like something supplemental I'm not doing right, or am I getting old? What is it?
That is a great question. So what is brain fog?
I guess I just, for me, like waking up in the mornings and just like trying to get myself to the shower and motivate myself to move.
Amazing question. We'll send this back to her desk and see what she says. Thank you so much. We also have Candy.
Yeah, perfect. That's why I did this.
Yeah, exactly. You had to have known if I'm in the elf attire that there's candy coming. Exactly. Okay, so thank you so much. Nice meeting you too. He took the whole bag of candy. He was supposed to just dig for the candy, but that's okay. That's that brain fog. That's the brain fog. I said, we have candy, and he took the whole bag. Okay, that's one way to do it. I can't hate on that.
Oh, my. Well, we're all getting older. That's a given. Brain fog is not synonymous with aging, however. It is a label for symptoms that fall along a spectrum, including brain fatigue, difficulty focusing, forgetfulness, making simple mistakes, feeling exhausted but you can't sleep, sluggishness, or difficulty getting motivated. As you know, brain fog has been linked with dozens of chronic medical, immune, and inflammatory diseases, mental challenges such as PTSD and adult ADHD, infections like AIDS and COVID-19, chemotherapy, dementia, and a whole lot more. If none of these apply, then as a brain function specialist, I think of lifestyle factors. Sleep deprivation, when the brain cannot get waste emptied and repair jobs finished. Dehydration that pull brain tissue away from the skull. Unmanaged stress that releases adrenaline and cortisol. Nutritional deficiencies from high sugar intake or foods to which you are allergic, sensitive, or even intolerant. I know you can figure it out. Well, that was a nice finale to our trilogy of holiday specials. And your favorite question?
My favorite question was it's going to be probably your favorite question as well. I really liked the brain fog question.
Well, our brains are somewhat alike.
Yeah.
And I've never been asked it just like that before.
Awesome.
So as I said, it's really good for my brain to do this. Mm-hmm. It's mental stimulation, and if you do it every day, your whole life, research suggests that you'll have a long life and you'll hang on to your marbles.
Yeah, it's important to hang on to your marbles for sure. Yeah.
What I thought was really funny, since we've talked a little bit about sugar, when you said, would you like some candy? He evidently liked it so much he took the whole stocking.
Yeah. I was like, now I'm seeing why you got brain fog, my guy. That brain must be really foggy, because he was like, thanks. And it was so awkward. I didn't know what to do. I was like, sure, this is the last question of the day.
I was going to say,
you
good thing it's the last question.
Of the
Here, have the sock.
Yeah, take it. Here you go. That's for you.
People are so interesting. I just love them because every brain is different.
Mm-hmm. And he was so nice. So I hope he enjoyed the candy.
Well, I haven't run into him to ask him, but I might do that next time.
Okay.
All right, well, until next time, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
And happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you too.
And thank you, our viewers, for watching. Until next time, remember that the brain was not designed to create a plethora of new behaviors all at once. That's not how brain function works. One at a time, knowing it will take about 12 weeks of consistent daily application to turn it into a habit can lead to success. That's a brain secret.